Yes.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Sri Prabhupada, all glories to our beloved speaker for today, His Grace, Kripanidhi Prabhu, who needs no introduction. Devotees, we thank you all for being here today. It's Monday, first day of the busy week, and we are very much fortunate. We have one of our beloved uncles who will be speaking to us from Srimad Bhagavatam today. So Prabhuji, without further ado, we may put the verse on the screen and you take it over from Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful Sangha, the African Sangha. Unfortunately, I'm getting a lot of echo. And the sound isn't very good.
Do you have like two devices turned on at the same time? That might be the...
That might be it. Okay, now it's better, actually.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This evening, I have to apologize. I've been sick for the last few days. So it won't be a very long talk.
All right.
And I have to apologize for that.
That's good enough. Sorry to hear that. I wish you a speedy recovery, Prabhuji.
Well, I'm on the path of recovery, but it's been a few days of flu, so it's going around here in Mayapur. So without further ado, I can start.
Yes.
Text 17 of chapter 4, canto 3, entitled Vidura Approaches Maitreya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskricha Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasa Tator Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Abhadeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Excuse me for 1 second. So the Sanskrit here of text 17. Mantreshu mamva upahuya yatvam akuntita kanda sadatma bodha riche prabho mudha ivam pramatas tano mano mohayati vadeva. Mantreshu mamva upahuya yatvam akuntita kanda sadatma bodha riche prabho mugda iva pramatas Tano mano mohayati vadeva. I'll do the transliteration. Mantreshu, in consultations, mam, unto me, vai, as either, upahuya, by calling, yat, as much as, twam, your lordship, akuntita, without hesitation, akanda, without being separated, sada, eternally, atma, the self, bodha, intelligent, prechehe, asked, Prabhu, O my Lord, mugdaha, bewildered, eva, as if it were so, apramata, although never bewildered, tat, that, naha, our, manaha, mind, mohayati, bewilders, eva, as it is so, deva, O my Lord. Translation. O my Lord, your eternal self is never divided by the influence of time, and there is no limitation to your perfect knowledge. Thus, you were sufficiently able to consult with yourself, yet you called upon me for consultation, as if bewildered, although you are never bewildered, and this act of yours bewilders me. Report by Srila Prabhupada. Uddhava was never actually bewildered, but he says that all these contradictions appear to be bewildering. The whole discussion between Krishna and Uddhav was meant for the benefit of Maitreya, who was sitting nearby. The Lord used to call Uddhava for consultation when the city was attacked by Jarasandha and others, and when he executed great sacrifices as part of his routine royal works as Lord of Dwarka. The Lord has no past, present, and future because he is unhampered by the influence of eternal time, and thus nothing is hidden from him. He's eternally self-intelligent. Therefore, his calling for Uddhava to give him enlightenment is certainly astonishing. All these actions of the Lord appear to be contradictory, although there is no contradiction in the routine activities of the Lord. Therefore, it is better to see them as they are and not attempt to explain them. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Jnana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jnana Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So here, in this particular chapter, we hear about Krishna is winding up his activities on this planet 5,000 years ago at the end of Dwapar Yuga. So by some great fortuition, some great chance, Uddhava happens upon Lord Krishna. And Uddhava is very close to Krishna. As we know, Krishna sent Uddhava from Mathura to deliver a message to the gopis. And we know that Krishna told Uddhava that the gopis, via Uddhava, that I could never repay you for your great devotion to me. And therefore, the only payment and reward you can receive is your pure devotion to me. Bhaktistu ananyaya shakya aham evam vidorjuna. Gatum jaschum chitat bina. Dristavanasi yata. Krishna tells Arjuna in the 11th chapter of the Gita, when Arjuna asked for Krishna, please show me your your beautiful two-armed form as Syama Sundar. And Krishna, he tells Arjuna, Naham vidar natapasa na chachi chayeja. You cannot know me by study of the Vedas or tapasya or by giving in charity or worship. In these ways, you can't really know me at all. So Krishna is even transcendental to the Vedas, which he says, Vedaischa vasarvera hame vidya, Vedanta vidveda evachaham. In one verse in the 15th chapter, Krishna says that he's in everyone's heart. So it's very difficult to understand the Lord through some study of Vedas or just by one's own mental attempts. Srila Prabhupada was talking about Mr. Frog, and he was saying that nowadays the scientists are sitting in their little frog well, and they're trying to measure this immense universe, which is actually one tiny little mustard seed on the hoods of Lord Ananta Shesh. And he says they have no capacity to understand the Supreme Lord. Isaika Nishvashita Atila Kabunta. That in the Brahma Samhita, it's describing how the Lord is lying in this Viraj river in the causal ocean, and from every pore of his body, he is perspiring droplets of universes, trillions and trillions of universes. Nanavatarama Kurud Bhuvaneshu Kintu. And that Krishna has billions and trillions of avatars, incarnations emanating from him. So although he is inquiring from Uddhava here, consulting with Uddhava on various aspects, you just like a player on stage, as Queen Kunti says, that you're just like a player, an actor on stage where no one can really recognize your true identity. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam. He has unlimited forms. Adyapurana Purusham Navalo Yovanam Cha. Ajopi Sana Vyatma. He's unborn and neither does he ever perish. So here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that the Lord has no present, no past, and no future. Kalusmi Bharatarshaba. Krishna tells Arjuna that time I am the destroyer of the world. Everyone but you, the Pandavas, will perish on this battlefield of Kurukshetra by my will. So by Krishna's will, the wind is blowing, as described in the 3rd canto. Out of fear, the time is moving out of fear. Death personified is afraid of Krishna. Krishna is unlimitedly inconceivable, powerful, and Vedaham Samatitani Vartamani Charjana Bhavishani Chabutani Mamtu Veda Nakaschana. In the 7th chapter of the Gita, Krishna says, Vedaham Samatitani Vartamani. I know everything, past, present, and future, and I know everyone. I'm in the heart of all living beings. And Adantaracha Paramanu Chantasta. Although Krishna is enacting like a cowherd boy or as a friend of Uddhava and Dwarka, and he's behaving like a common, ordinary human being, going through certain duties, observing certain sacrifices and rituals like a king, He's running Dwarka with 16,108 palaces, and his wives are there. And he has 10 sons from each wife and so many daughters. He's doing this simply to set an example. Yad yad achriti shreshtas tatad evitru janaha samat paranam kudita lokastaranu vartate. He is doing this to set an example for human society, to establish that human society is made up of these ashrams and varnas. And he has come to the earth to reestablish these ideas, these principles, and do away, yada yada hidharmasya, to do away with adharma or sinful or demonic activities. So Krishna is the knower of everything, past, present, future. But here he's consulting with his devotee because, as Queen Kunti says, that Krishna, you're Bhakta Vatsala. You are purchased by the devotion of your devotees. You become controlled by the pure devotee, unmotivated, uninterrupted, untarnished, pure devotional service, Vishuddha Bhakti or Shuddha Bhakti. And all the great acharyas are trying to raise us to this plateau of pure devotional service, devoid of all offenses to the holy name. Prabhupada says that in the age of Kali, because it is so degraded, that the Lord appears in his holy name. Kali Kalera Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar, Nama Hoite Hoi, Sarva Jagat Nishtar. That the Lord is very merciful. You really can't come and kill all the demons. Srila Prabhupada is telling us in so many places that in Kali Yuga, there are so many demons. Demons who in the name of religion are espousing so many adharmic things in the name of God, in the name of religion. So much adharma is going on. Dharma bando vidharmascha paradharma nachoditaha upadharma tupakando dambova shabdabich chalaha. That there are 5 types of dharma which are disguised, 5 types of adharma which are disguised as dharma or religion. For example, dharma bado, that is a religion which looks like religion but speaks against the existence of God, like Buddhism. Buddha came and spoke against the Vedas, against the personal aspect of God, against God. He said, he threw out the Vedas and preached on nonviolence. And then paradharma, dharma which is given by people who are very proud of their own religion. And then there's dharma which actually goes against the religious principles. And then there's also a chala dharma. People take the religious scriptures and they reinterpret it to their whims and so-called agendas. So these things are going on in Kali Yuga. So Srila Prabhupada said that the Lord appears many, many times within all the universes, trillions and trillions of times, because he's unlimited. The Lord is completely unlimited. His natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate natatyamascha vyadikastra jishyate. Sarvasya svabhaviki gyana bala kriyacha. Sarvasya shaktir vividhai vishriyate. So in this verse, it's stated that the Lord is omnipotent. He can do anything with any one of his senses. Without any effort, he's creating both spiritual and material worlds, as he says, aham sarvasya prabhavo matah sarvam pravartate. and Mata Parataram Nanyat, that there's no truth superior to me. Everything is resting upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. So Krishna is simply behaving in this way with his devotee Uddhava. Uddhava, give me some advice. Tell me, how should I deal with Jarasandha, who is attacking so many times, and other demons like Shalva, the great worshipper of Lord Shiva, who was given an incredible airplane that could disappear, could be on land, on water, in the air. How should I deal with this Uddhava? So Krishna is behaving in this way so that we can also remember his transcendental pastimes. He comes for the pleasure of his devotees, and he also has a fighting spirit. Prabhupada said the original fighting spirit is there in Krishna. So he comes and he has wonderful fighting activities with so many demons. Sometimes those demons have been given a benediction, like Kamsa. Kamsa, he was Kalanemi in his previous life, and he was killed by Vishnu. And then he took birth again as Kamsa, and he was given the benediction that only Vishnu could kill him. So even though he fought with Parashuram, as described in the Garga Samhita, Parashuram was very impressed with Kamsa's power and strength. He actually defeated all the demigods' armies all over the universe. He defeated even all the demons. He befriended them by defeating them and then making him his allies, like Kuvalyapida and other demons. The Bhaktak demon, Trinavarta demon, the Agasura demon, the demon Putana. They all allied themselves with Kamsa after having a show of strength, a contest of strength against each other. So Krishna himself, he has this, as I'm saying, fighting spirit. So he descends in this world, and we see that he fights against and destroys Shalva's airplane and kills Shalva the demon. And he's behaving in this way. So the devotees, Satatam Kirtayantamam Tantascha Dritavrataha Namasyantastamam Nityayukta Upasate. That the devotees are always chanting my glories. His glories are romantic, they're chivalrous. There's so many wonderful activities of Krishna going on. His kidnapping Rukmini, for example. His dealing with the Syamantaka jewel, for example. There was intrigue there. There were so many various activities going on. So these are meant to attract the minds of the devotees who are always desiring to glorify the Lord. Always chitas madgata prana bodhyantas parasparam. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Devotees are always deriving great happiness and satisfaction from remembering the transcendental activities and pastimes of the Lord. Although the Lord is, he's all knowing, he's in everyone's heart, and so on and so forth. But these activities invoke the mood of devotion to the Lord. And he also shows that even if one is a devotee, the Lord puts one through so many different trials and tribulations as a purification process, as a way of depending on the Lord as our protector, our master, and our friend, as given by Rupa Goswami in the Nectar of Instruction. So these are some thoughts today on this particular verse where Lord Krishna is wrapping up his transcendental pastimes on the planet, and he is expressing a great appreciation of Uddhav, who is a wonderful devotee of Lord Krishna, one of the prominent and most important devotees of Krishna. So I'll stop there. I'm running out of steam, and I'll take one question, and then I'll retire. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for
Hare Krishna.
being here with us, even though your health is not so good. So Prabhuji is taking one question. If anyone may want to ask that beautiful, most important question for the day, please. Well, then Prabhuji, I will go for the question. Mine is not very important, but I will ask anyway. I understand that punishment is meant for rectification. So in other words, when we commit a crime, an offense, or sin, we get punished. And the punishment is to teach us that we do not repeat the same mistake again. Now, I committed some crimes and some offenses in my previous life, and therefore I am born the way I am today. Now, if I do not remember what I did in my previous life, that led to me being born and experiencing the sort of life I'm living today, then what is the use of material nature giving me this sort of punishment? When I do not remember, how then do I learn not to repeat the same mistakes I repeated in my previous life?
Good question, good point. We're assuming that that we have to learn a lesson from the suffering are descended upon us. However, in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that devotee is equal both in auspicious and inauspicious situations. Tulyan industri monir santushtayana kenachit aniketa stiramatir. There's a string of verses like this. Samashatreta mitreta tatama napamonayo. Chitushna sukadukeshu samasanga vivarjitaha. So the devotee, Prabhupada gives in the explanation, in the material world, there's actually no auspiciousness. So someone may seemingly be enjoying the material world with a material opulence and so many things, so many material possessions. But Prabhupada says it's not really in the material world, there's nothing really good or auspicious. It's full of misery, birth, death, old age and disease, janma mrityu jara vyadi. And so if we can see from that point of view that whatever situation I have, if I can receive perfect knowledge from a bona fide spiritual master who can raise me up above the modes of material nature and help me to attain real spiritual happiness, Brahma Bhuta Prashanatmana Sochatina Kankshati, then I have distanced myself from actions and reactions of previous karma and so on. I become free from all these karmic reactions, whether it's so-called auspicious or so-called inauspicious. Prabhupada said, if you go into a cave and you try to taste a cave of salt, wherever you take from the wall of the cave, you'll get salt. So inherently, this material world, everyone is suffering, whether they think they're not because they have some wonderful situation, unless they have Brahma Jigyasa, unless they have perfect knowledge of who they are and what the purpose of their life is, then they're met with Parabhavas Tavada Bodha Jato. They meet with defeat, as Rishabhadev says. They meet with defeat at every step in their lives. And at the time of death, even if you have so much, Krishna says, Muda Jonasu Jayate, at the time of death, you can take birth in the animal kingdom if you haven't pursued spiritual knowledge. Yashastrija Mutrija Vartate Kamakarata Nasa Siddhim Avapnoti Nasukam Na Param Gatim. That you won't attain perfection if you haven't been given knowledge from the revealed scriptures, if you haven't connected with a bona fide spiritual master, a representative of the Guru Parampara. So to say, well, I don't remember my I don't remember my bad activities, and here I am suffering. Actually, the cave is full of salt. It doesn't matter the prime minister of, Nigeria or the king of England, whoever they are, they have to get disease. They have to get old age. They have to have the dualities of life upon them. They have to be bewildered. Moga shamoga karmano moga jnana vichestidaha. They become bewildered by Lord Shiva's wife, Parvati, Durga Devi. As Prabhupada said, wherever you taste, you're going to get salt. So they may be thinking, oh, look at me. I'm the wealthiest man on the planet. I have a big yacht and I go sailing in the Mediterranean, surrounded by beauty, and I have opulent foodstuffs. I have so much gold. This mentality that they measure success. Idam adyamaya labdam imam prapshe manoratam. Demoniac thinks, but look at me, I'm surrounded by wealth and fame and power and beauty. It's wonderful. No, you're still going to suffer, because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Rajasastu phalam dukam, that the only fruit of the mode of passion, which is the desire to enjoy this material world, mode of passion, thinking oneself this material body, is dukam, or unhappiness. So we see, I used to live in Los Angeles, and all these people in Hollywood, they're all so miserable. They're notorious for drug addiction, alcohol addiction, broken families, criminal activities, and they are glorified like anything and have so much wealth. So a devotee, when he's put into a difficult situation, he sees it as a pure opportunity to become closer to Krishna, right? Tatenu kampam shishamiksamano punjane vatme vitam punjane kritam vipakam rigvagva pubir vidadam namaste jiveteyo mukti pade sadayaba. My devotee goes through so many difficulties, and therefore he becomes the rightful owner. He is the rightful owner of liberation or devotional service to me. This is his birthright, because he goes through so many difficulties and reverse conditions, like the Pandavas. Queen Kunti prays in this way. Twama Kinchana Gocharam, you're the property of those who are materially exhausted. So we see that many times devotees are put into difficult situations. When Vritrashura was fighting with Indra, Vritrashura, Maharaj Chitraketu, was cursed by Lord Shiva's wife, Parvati, to take birth as a demon. So you can say, oh, I'm being punished. But actually, because this Vritrashura was a great devotee, he was far superior to Lord Indra. And Prabhupada says, in the whole situation of the battle between Vritrashura and Indra, Vritrashura was a real superlative person. He was the real devotee. And he was preaching to Indra, simply you fight me and gain victory. Well, why are you lamenting that I pushed your elephant back 15 steps, 15 yards or whatever? And he was preaching to him the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, that you simply depend on Krishna and you do follow the path of Dharma, and whatever Krishna wills, then you accept it. But do your duty, right? Karmani avadhikaraste mapaleshu kadachana. Nakama falahetubir nate sangastu karmani. Do your duty without any attachment to loss or gain, victory or defeat, whatever. And don't be attached if you cannot do your duty. It may be in a situation where you cannot do your duty, but don't be too attached. Krishna is telling Arjuna. So in terms of, I have to learn from my bad behavior in previous lives, and therefore I see that I'm born in this way or that. Actually, we're all suffering. We all have situations of difficulties, and therefore a devotee just feels that whatever situation I have is an opportunity for me to simply become closer and develop my love of God, so that at the time of death, I can attain the lotus feet of Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the elaborate answer to my question. And with this, dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute. And we all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our appreciation to our revered uncle with grace, Kripanidhi Prabhu, for giving us his love and wisdom this morning, afternoon, evening, depending on your geographical location on this earth planet. Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna. Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama.
Hare
Hare.
Vanchakapatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha
Hare Om.
Patinam
Vaishnava
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Krishna
Maha
Bebisha.
Lantakoti
Patitanam Pavane.
Vaishnava
Vaishnava.
Jai
Hare Krishna.
Praise Kripanidhi Prabhu
Hare
ki
Krishna
jai.
Jai
Well, Prabhuji, we wish you a very, very speedy and